Welcome, welcome, welcome. Disclaimer here. Trading stocks is very risky. My results are not typical. Typical result of an average trader will be to lose money. Keep in mind you're accountable for your own decisions, and there's no guarantees that watching my content will improve your trading. That being said, let's get into today's recap. Let's pull up the TraderVue stats. Up 2,500 today. Finishing close to highs. I think pretty much around highs. I can pull up the journal. Let's see. Yeah, pretty much finishing at highs in the day. Pretty smooth sailing, never was red. Got to up 200, then gave back 100 off the top, and then tightened up my risk to get back up to 200, and then from there loosened the risk as we got that stock that was squeezing up that I made most of the money on. So stats for today: 2-to-1 risk reward, and a little bit negative win-loss ratio. Yeah, or win percentage. Biggest winner 473, biggest loser 137. So that's nice. Yeah, let's just get straight into the video. Starting at market open, we were watching BRSH. This one was near pre-market highs. It was flagging into the open. On the 5-minute chart, you'll see here it has a top at 331. So I was looking at 331 for an entry for the high of day at 343. You get in pretty much right away as this market opens, and we break 330. So in there at 28, 29. Buyer there at 34, taking half off, taking the rest out at 39. Ends up going to 44. Looking to take it again on this pullback here. Watching through 50. Oh, I missed that break of 50. Okay. That hit 70 there. Now it's getting a little bit extended. I do take a dip trade right there at 64, out at 61. Small size still. Back in 63, watching 70, out at 59. Back in 60. There's 69 on the ask, trying to get out. Watching 69. And so it's the thing about BRSH is this morning it had so much volume in these first couple of candles that the level 2 was very much it was whipping around a lot. It was going 68 to 58 to 63 to 68 to 70 to 80 to 70 to 74 to 90. It would just jump around. So you'd have to pretty much buy dips, otherwise you're gonna get a high fill and then get dropped on 10 cents. So in there at 80 on the micro pullback, then selling at 90 on that pop. Realizing that we're getting close to that $4 level, I get back in. Watching break of 4. Realize maybe I might be in too high. It ends up breaking though, 404. But if it didn't break, I would have probably gotten out at 390. There's 380 back in for the dip. Starting to size up a little bit, only 500 shares still though, because it is whipping around a lot. Watching back over 4, taking half off at 94. Rest out at 91. Ends up popping through 4, get back in at 98. Watching, it's holding. Out at 4, back in at 402. Out at 98. So trying to figure out where the pop is gonna happen. Probably getting back in here just below 4. Let's see, does 4 want to hold? Yep. Getting back in at 99 with that buyer at 98. Selling into that buyer at 98 as it breaks. Watching for a dip buy here. Let's see. Down to 84. Back up to 4. So that was pretty much most of my profit on BRSH. So the thing with BRSH is because it was so erratic in its movement, I didn't want to trade it at all if it wasn't going straight up. Trying to trade the range on BRSH was very difficult to find the bottom, so I switched focus as soon as it started pulling back. FOXO started popping. 17 cents. Getting in here, small size, starter. Taking it off as 17 doesn't break right away. Trying it one more time. It's kind of looking like it wants to break. Back out. Some small losses. Just taking some feeler trades, trying to see if it wants to pop or not. Ends up not going. So I go ahead and just take the $10 loss and move on. Then we have SXTX. This one, 22 cents, getting in with a little bit larger size. Watching for break of 22. 22.50 is the pre-market pivot. 24 is the pre-market highs. So watching 22 for an ad. Taking it off break even for now, then getting back in as 22 looks like it's about to break. Reading on the tape at 22. Adding at 22, there's 10,000 shares. There's 22.80, but waiting for that bid to come up to sell into. So I was selling at 22.60. The rest out at 22.30, I believe. So out there at 22.20. Looking to get back in. There's the break of 22. It's holding. 22.50 there has a seller. Watching that seller at 22.50, it breaks. Back in. Big size there. Watching 23. There's the breakout. Watching high day is at 24. As long as it holds 23, I'm holding this position. There's 24 breaking, trying to get some out. Half out at 23.70. Taking the rest out as it comes back down. It's a false pop. Watching 24. Is 24 gonna hold? Small buyer at 27 starts breaking though, so I get out 23.70 and 23.50. Puts me up 270 on the day. Very nice start to the day. Gives me a solid cushion to work with for the rest of the day. I do end up giving like $40 back on SXTX. And then TSHA, I was looking here for a flag. It had sold off the entire morning so far, the last 8 minutes. Was watching this for a small reversal back towards 250. So getting a position in here at 42 with a buyer there at 40. Ends up not really working out. We have that big buyer at 41, but it flushes 2 cents on me there without even going through that buyer. So I take a $30 loss. And BETR, this one was a halt down. It sold off from 23 down to $1 during pre-market. I don't know what the news is on that. I didn't really look into it. I just wanted to see if we'd get a small bounce on resumption. So I'm watching this on resumption, looking for a small bounce of like 5 to 6 cents. So there it goes. It looks like it's halting up at 42. Halt down's at 16. I'm watching this for a false halt and a dip buy to get in. So watching. It's not sticking. Watching. Waiting. There's some sellers at 40. Getting in there at 40, 39. Watching this. Doesn't want to break 40. Big seller comes in at 40, so take it off at 37. Getting out of the way just in case it does come down. Spoiler, it does come down. So down to 21. That was my only trade on it. Ends up halting down. Let's see. Anything else here? So I lose another one on TSHA. Trying to get this 42 area to break for 44. Just not working for me. So down 90 on TSHA. MULN, this one was continuation from yesterday. I missed the move on it yesterday. Yesterday it went from 40 cents to 85. I missed it. It was a power hour move, but I don't trade power hour. So I missed it, but I was looking at it for continuation. Um, had pre-market levels at 40 or at 78 and 89, I believe, with the high yesterday being like 85. So I was watching all those levels if it did want to break back over VWAP, but I wasn't going to be aggressive on it until it started breaking back over VWAP. Taking 5,000 shares here, already down a full cent, taking it off there for the loss. So gave back most of what I made on the day, and I wanted to tighten up the risk. Basically, I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to go red after being up that much. So I made back a little bit on this pop on MULN, and then so as it's coming for VWAP, I take a little bit more size, trying to get green on the ticker. And I take an ad up there at 64, and I get stopped out on that ad, which ends up putting me red 50, red 60 on it. Let's see here. Where does the other one start moving? ELIQ, here we go. So ELIQ, this one was it's a recent IPO, and it has highs of like $6 or something like that on the daily chart. You see all these blue lines? These are all blue lines that I marked out as daily resistance levels a couple days ago when this was popping up on a gap scanner. So I'm familiar with the ticker. I have all the levels listed out already, which came in handy. And basically, I'm just watching this for a squeeze. It's when recent IPOs they tend to sell off at their for the next couple weeks after their initial open. And then they'll hit like all-time lows because they don't have any other price action than what they're doing currently. So like, let's say it opens at $20, it sells off to $1 over the course of 3 weeks. It's at all-time lows, so it has really nowhere else to go but up. As long as it doesn't like keep going. Like basically what I'm trying to say is, on the day where it is popping, it has a lot of levels that it can break pretty easily. Excuse me, still sick. It's taking me a lot longer to get rid of this sickness. It's just a common cold, but it's been almost a week now. But yeah, so what I was saying was I have all the levels marked out. I was taking small size here at the beginning, just 500 shares because I wanted to make sure, well, mostly because it was still low volume, but also I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to get caught in like a 10-cent flush on bigger size and ruin my day. So in still with small size, watching this for the initial break of 2. There's 202, taking it off there at 2. Okay, looking to get back in, 500 shares at 2. Is it going to hold 202? Getting out here at 97 and 95. Basically flat on those last 2 trades. So we get the break of 2 back up to 205, 207. This is where it starts to break out a little bit more. Starts to hold this 198 level that was marked out. There's 210, 213 is the next level. So watching 210 for the break. Notice how I sized up to 1,000 shares as we get green on this. So I missed the break of 10 there. It was a little bit too quick for me. There's 13, 14. I'm watching 15 now. Watching. Let's see here. Taking a dip trade there at 209. Trying to get some out at 214 on the ask. Because it's low volume, I want to make sure I'm using limit orders to make sure I'm trying to get out on the ask. instead of at the bid. There's 19, taking it off at 16, and some out at 20. Yep, some out at 20. And the rest out at 16 and 15. Now watching 20 for a high daybreak. Back in, there's 18, 1,000 shares. Out at 23, nice $50 winner. Now watching 24, high a day. Watching that micro pullback, there's 20, 18. In there, 1,500 shares now. Watching 24 for highs, out half at 23. Quarter out at 25, rest out at 24 as it stalls. So now we're starting to pull away on the day. We're at 477 on the day, so we're starting to get a good day on under our belt. So I can afford to size up a little bit more. Small dip trade there at 20, taking off at 22. Generous fill there. Small loss. Taking a dip buy there at 207, 208. So this first pullback is generally where the stock will either fail completely and break down VWAP, or it'll hold VWAP and make another leg up. So we want to see this hold 2 and continue higher towards 230. Big buyer there at 17. I want to size into that. Big size now. In at 19. Watching 23, 24, 26 high a day. Are we going to get 26? Taking it off there at 22 for a nice gain. Watching now 24, 25 area. Back in 19, out at 18, small loss. Back in small size. And at 22, 2,000 shares. Out there 27, half or quarter at 27. And let's see. Throw out an order at 29. Do I get filled? Only a partial fill on that order. Starting to come back down. So I go ahead and cut it at 22.70. Ends up coming back up. Look at that. So I take an order at let's go back for a second. So I take it off at 22.70. It ends up popping back up to 27 by 30. And on the break of 30, I punch it. I punch it just as it broke 30. Ends up showing 38 by 40. I got filled at 36. So I guess I got a lucky fill there. But realizing that I got filled pretty high compared to where I wanted at 30, I sold it instantly at 37.50 between the spread. Back in on the micro pullback at 33, 34. Smaller size because I am buying highs. Watching 40 for the break. Taking half off at 38, 39, and 37 out the rest. Watching 40, back in 40, bigger size now as we get those high day breaks. Looks like this one I took off. I marketed out on the breakout, but I marketed it just a little bit too soon, so I got filled break even at 40. Right here. If I had sold maybe just like a microsecond later, I would have gotten filled at 41 or 42, probably. Or even, look at that, 46, 48. So a little bit angsty on that exit. Back in at 48. There's 53, out at 51 and 49. So it's starting to extend quite a bit. Watching the micro pullback there, and they're at 40. Out there for a small loss. Another entry down here on the lows. Out there because I don't want to be in. This candle is just forming, so I don't want to be in high if it does end up pulling back to like 230. So if it's not really bouncing and the candle's not going green, then I want to be out pretty much right away. Um, let's see here. A couple more smaller trades here. Little bounces around 40. Taking it off, back in around 44. Looking for the break of 50. There's 58 on the ask for a moment. Taking a quarter out at 50. And the rest out at 47. So small trade there. Looking for the next opportunity. Watching there's a big buyer there at 47. Big buyer there at 47. In at 51. There's 58 on the highs. Taking a quarter off at 56. We see that big buyer. Taking another quarter off at 56. Taking half off at 60, 61, and 62. Out the rest. Starting to get a nice day here. I can really afford to size up. So taking 2,500 share starters now. Or just max size. So in there, chasing the high. This is a bit of a chase here, but I do see the halt levels nearby, which is why I did enter high. Getting back in at 74, 81 halt up. Looking to hold, watching 81. It's not really sticking exactly like I wanted it to, so I want to take some off. Looking 87, taking the rest off at 86, 85, 84, and out the rest at 85. Nice work. Let's see here. Shows 87, halts up. Buyer there at 76. Do I take a trade here? Yep, taking a trade at 79. 76, there's a buyer. A lot of red on the tape getting out. Back in, getting out there at 76. Small loss. So I rack up a couple small losses here. It's in at 67, out at 64, 63. Then, let's see. So yeah, one thing I wanted to note was on ELIQ, we had this initial run up from 180 to 280, with pretty much no pullback except for like maybe like 1 minute pullback, but no real pullback really. It kind of just went straight up. So this next consolidation here, let's see, all the way until 1020. Yeah, so this consolidation I traded and lost about 200 on, off of the highs of my P&L. So what I mentally said was the next time if we get another leg up, so once we get another leg up, the next pullback or consolidation, I'm not going to trade at all because I want to keep whatever profit I make. So at this point, we're kind of finishing this consolidation, and I'm watching for the next leg up here. So is it going to bounce off 50, off you up at 43? We hit lows of 46 there. This candle's starting to go green. Looking to take a starter here possibly. Watching. And there's 63, small size still, because it is a pullback. Out there at 70. Yeah, all out at 70. Watching break of 80. There it goes, 83. Getting on the micro pullback. There's 90. Taking it off at 89. Nice exit. Watching break of 3 now. In at 93, out at 96. Right back in at 98. Tried to get out at 3, but getting out at 92 for a big loss. Taking another bigger size loss here on this one. In at 94, out at 89. Or 92 and 9. Sorry. Dry throat, man. Alright, so watching this break of 90. I'm in pretty low here at 90. Watching the break of 3. Putting some orders out to sell half. There we go. There's the break of 3. Watching 305 to sell another quarter. I'm watching 310 for the extension. 330 is the halt up. Taking the rest out at 306. Nice jump on the P&L there. Now watching this back over 3. Taking a starter there at A98. I'm watching 3 doesn't want to hold. It's jumping around a little bit. Doesn't want to hold 3. It's holding. Watching 306 for quarter exit. Half out at 306. Seller at 306. Getting the rest out at 305. Okay. Still holding 3. 307's high. Watching a micro pullback here. Doesn't want to hold 3. It's holding 3, getting in here. 97. Watching for that breakthrough 306 with that seller for the break of highs. Looking to add at that seller. Big buyer there at 303, adding. There's 316, there's 320. 330, look at that break. Oh, wow. Let's go back on that. So watching with that big seller, that big buyer came up at 303. Took a quarter off at 305 because I saw that big seller at 306. Realized the big buyer at 303 came, and I added back another 1,000 at 305. Then 306 broke up to 316 by 313. There we go. Taking some off at 316. Nice exit there. Took a half off on that exit, and then look at that squeeze to 30. Where's the rest of my position get out? 28. So out the rest of it out the rest of it at 28. Not bad. Hits highs of 40. 41's halt up, so I'm watching this for the halt up. And at 27, out at 25. Generous fill there at the exit. Watching the dip trade here. Doesn't want to hold 20. It does. Back in at 21. Out at 22. A little bit premature out there, so I'm back in at 23. Out at 25. Just taking a small loss there. Let's see here, 23. So I take a couple losses here. Puts in a high at 350. I'm trying to wait out this pullback. It's watching. So we have this pullback, and as this candle goes green, I'm looking to take an entry. Small size for now. Watching. Looking for the hold of 310 up to 320. And as we're holding 310, I add to the position, going to max size. Watching 320 now. It's a bottoming wick candle, watching for 320. Taking a quarter off at 314. Another quarter out at 320. There's 28, there's 30. Watching the breakout. Taking some more off at 30, 29. Holding this other position of 1,000 because I want to see if it can squeeze. So out there at 30. I was trying to hold that last position of 1,000 for the break of 40. So back in 35. Out at 31. Yeah, so this one basically just traded the range. Had a couple more big winners up to 2,400, and then let's see here. Comes back down to VWAP. Took some dips down here, wasn't able to get any success there. And then, let's see. Oh, I didn't even know I was up 2,600 on the day. Wow. Yeah, I didn't know because I wasn't looking at my P&L. I thought I finished at highs. Oh well. So I guess I gave 100 off of highs right here. Let's see, what time is this? 10:44. Yeah, it looks like that was the high point, 2670. Then gave some off of highs. Yeah, pretty much that was the high of the day, I think, on ELIQ as well. So basically just scalped this one near high a day, looking at those halts up, and then really going aggressive on those micro pullbacks was the theme for today on this one. Let's see. Then I had one last thing I wanted to talk about was right here, yeah. So at the very end of my trading session today, this is my final P&L of the day. But I had an order that was sitting out from DOS for 2,500 shares, selling market, and it was kind of stuck on ELIQ. You'll see here on the montage it says canceling sell 2,500 shares. So I was trying to cancel the order because it wasn't going through. So I tried canceling it, and luckily I was able to flatten my position on TD or Thinkorswim. So I was able to. So right here you'll see, I see the orders out. I'm trying to cancel it. I'm still in 2,100 shares. I'm like, okay, well, let me try flattening it from Thinkorswim. Ends up working, so I flatten it successfully. I keep on trying to click on the order to try and cancel it through Thinkorswim. It's not really working. So I go ahead and I open up a support window and start chatting with support. Basically, what ended up happening is on the way to the market exchange, this order didn't make it all the way. So when I tried canceling it, it was still in the process of being sent over to that exchange, so it wasn't able to be canceled. I guess that's what they told me. But anyway, I got it situated. So yeah, only reason I was worried about it was because I didn't want to accidentally go short and have this thing bounce off VWAP and then keep going higher and then be accidentally short at like 3. That'd suck. What ended up happening is it ended up flushing down to 280, so I'd have been like, oh, well, it would have been nice to be accidentally short there. But yeah, so they canceled the order for me, no, it was no problem. And that's how I ended the day, because if DAS started acting up, I didn't want to be trading big size anymore. So I ended the day there, and I was pretty satisfied. The move was over pretty much as well, so it was a good spot to end. Yeah. Anyways, we just have tomorrow left, and we might be able to get a fully green week. That would be amazing. Hasn't happened in a long time. So, looking to have a nice day tomorrow as well. It doesn't have to be thousands. It could just be a couple hundred. I would be satisfied with that. But yeah, let's keep to that small size before we get green, and then once we get green a couple hundred, then we can start to size up. You know, it's been working very well this last week. So that's what I'll do, continuing to move forward. And August is almost over. If we keep at the current pace, then this should be a nice 5-figure month. So we'll see. Other than that, take care, guys. I'll be back tomorrow with another recap to end off the week. And then we'll have one last final week of August to round out the month. All right, take care, guys.